Most of you are spending hours on thumbnails, titles, and hooks. Then you upload and nothing happens. It feels like the algorithm is ignoring you. But here's the truth. You just haven't told it who you are yet. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through 9 settings that could be killing your reach right now. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to fix. Mistake number 1, made for kids misclassification. Let's start with one that can cost you money, and not a small amount either. We're talking about fines under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act that can go over $40,000 per violation. And the crazy part is, most creators trigger this mistake without even realizing it. Here's how it works. You upload a video, you scroll down to the audience section, and YouTube asks you one simple question. Is this video made for kids? You pause for a second. You think, well, a kid could watch this video. It's family friendly. So you click yes, just to be safe. That one click changed everything. Comments are now turned off. People can't save your video to playlists. Notifications don't go out. And YouTube stops recommending your video to anyone over 12. And here's the worst part. Even if you go back and change it later, it doesn't fully fix it. YouTube has already labeled that video, and it keeps treating it like kids' content. I remember waking up one morning, checking my analytics, and wondering why my videos had completely flatlined overnight. No views, no subscribers, nothing. I went back into my settings and realized I clicked the wrong option on that video. That feeling of watching your hard work disappear, it absolutely sucks. And I don't want that to happen to you. So here's what you need to understand. Made for kids does not mean suitable for kids. It means a video was specifically created for children under 13. Think Sesame Street, think Miss Rachel, bright colors, simple language, direct engagement made for young viewers. That's what YouTube is asking about. So if you're making videos about finance, fitness, gaming, productivity, or anything like that, the answer is always no. Mistake number 2, automatic chapters left on autopilot. This next one is quietly hurting your search rankings, and most creators don't even know what's happening. YouTube added a feature called automatic chapters. At first, it sounds useful. The platform reads your transcript and creates timestamps for you automatically. But here's where it goes wrong. Those chapters just sit there. They become part of your video's metadata, which means Google uses them to decide when your video shows up in search. So when somebody types in the topic, your chapter titles help decide if the video gets seen or ignored. Now here's the problem. The AI-generated chapters are usually very basic. When you write your own chapters, you control the exact words tied to your video. You can match what people are actually searching for instead of letting the system guess. So here's what to do. Turn off automatic chapters in your upload settings. Then add your own timestamps in the description. Use clear searchable labels for each section. It takes a few minutes, but it can make a real difference in how far your videos reach. Mistake number 3, not using YouTube's built-in A/B testing. Here's something YouTube quietly rolled out that most creators are completely ignoring. And it might be the biggest missed opportunity on this entire list. You can now test up to 3 thumbnails, titles, or both in a single video. Here's how it works. You upload your video like normal. Then you create multiple versions of your title or thumbnail. YouTube shows each version to different viewers over about 2 weeks. Watches how they respond, and then automatically picks the winner and applies it to your video. Same video, different package. And the best version can outperform the worst by up to 40% in watch time. Most creators upload one thumbnail, one title, and just hope it works. Then they check their analytics, see a 2% click-through rate, and wonder what went wrong. I used to do this exact same thing. I'd spend hours making a video, slap on a thumbnail, and hit publish, and then sit there refreshing my analytics hoping something would happen. It never did. And that feeling, putting in all that hard work and getting nothing back, it's one of the most discouraging things about being a small creator. But once I started testing, everything changed. Try 3 completely different thumbnail styles: a close-up face, a simple object shot, and a clean text design. You'll almost always get a clear winner within the first week. And this feature is already inside YouTube Studio. You don't have to pay for anything. So stop guessing and start testing. So mistake number 4 is ignoring mobile first formatting. Over 80% of watch time now comes from mobile phones, and that number keeps going up. But most creators are still designing their titles and thumbnails for desktop, and it's costing them clicks they didn't even know they were losing. On mobile, your title gets cut off at around 55 characters. So if your hook is sitting at the end of a long sentence, nobody ever sees it. And your thumbnail, it shows up tiny. What looked clean and detailed on your computer suddenly becomes hard to read. Small text disappears. Busy images look messy, and people scroll right past it. The fix is simple, but you have to do it on purpose. Put the most important part at the front of your title. Your main idea and your hook should land in the first 30 characters. Everything after that is extra. For thumbnails, use the squint test. Shrink your thumbnails down to about 10% of its size and look at it quickly. Can you still tell what it's about? Can you read the text? If not, simplify it. Bigger faces, clean background, fewer words that actually stand out. YouTube has found that thumbnails with clear depth, foreground, middle ground, and background get about 15% higher click-through rates. Small changes here can make a big difference. Mistake number 5 is the subscriber notification toggle. This is something almost nobody talks about, and I learned the hard way. When you upload a video, there's a checkbox hidden in the details section. It says publish to subscriptions feed and notify subscribers. And by default, it's already checked. Here's why that matters. When your video goes live, YouTube doesn't show it to everyone right away. It starts with a small group of your existing subscribers. What they do in those first few hours tells YouTube how far to push your video next. Do they click? Do they watch? Or do they scroll past? That early data is everything. So if your video doesn't match what most of your subscribers usually watch, this can hurt you. They don't click, they don't watch, and YouTube reads that as a bad signal and stops pushing your video. That's one of the worst feelings. Like you're doing everything right and still getting nothing. In some cases, it's actually better to uncheck that box, let the algorithm test your video on fresh audiences first. People are more likely to care about that specific topic. Give your content a fair shot before publishing it out to everyone. All right, so mistake number 6 is the empty channel homepage. Here's a quick test. Go to your channel homepage right now. What does a new visitor see when they land there? If it looks like a mix of random videos, old playlists you forgot about, or just a wall of shorts that don't match your main content, you're losing subscribers before you even get a chance to earn them. Your homepage is your storefront. Someone watches one of your videos, they like it, they click on your channel, now you have about 10 seconds. That's all it takes for them to decide whether to subscribe or leave. If your page looks messy, confusing, or inactive, they're gone. So here's what to do instead. Go to YouTube Studio, click on Customization, then go to the Homepage tab. Start with a recent uploads section so people know you're active. Add a popular uploads section so they immediately see your best content. Then build playlists around your main topic with clear titles and short descriptions that tell people exactly what your channel is about. And if your main focus is long form, don't put shorts at the top. Shorts bring in quick, distracted views. Long videos attract people who are actually willing to sit there and watch. And those are the people who subscribe and keep coming back. All right, so mistake number 7, channel keywords and descriptions left blank. Most creators treat channel keywords in the About section like they don't really matter, like they're optional. They're not. These are some of the clear signals you can give YouTube about what your channel is about and who it's for. Go into Settings, then Channel, then Basic Info. You'll see a box for channel keywords. These aren't hashtags. These are your channel's identity. You're telling YouTube, this is what I make and this is who should see it. Don't keep it vague. The clearer you are, the easier it is for YouTube to match your content to the right audience. Now your About section. This is the first line that shows up right at the top of your channel page before people even scroll. Most creators waste it. Use that space to say what your channel is about, who it's for, and give people a reason to subscribe right away. It's free SEO. It costs nothing. It takes maybe about 5 minutes to fix, but it helps YouTube connect your channel with the right viewers, and that's what actually gets your content seen. Mistake number 8, Creative Commons licensing and remix disabled. This one sounds a little backwards at first. Why would you let other people reuse your content? Because it gives you free exposure without you doing any extra work. By default, your videos use standard YouTube license. But if you switch to Creative Commons attribution, you allow creators to use part of your videos as long as they credit you. Every time someone uses your clip, they link it back to your original video. Other creators are basically promoting your content to their audience for free. The same idea applies to Shorts remixing. Turn it on. Every time someone remixes your content, it becomes another entry point back to your channel. Some creators get worried about this. They think they're losing control of their content, but that's not what's happening. You still own your work. You're just letting it reach more people through other channels. And when 3.7 million videos get uploaded every day, any chance of real organic exposure is something you don't want to ignore. Mistake number 9, not having your channel trailer. And here's the last one. Most creators don't even have a trailer. Or worse, they have one from years ago that doesn't match what they're doing now. And that is the first thing a new viewer sees when they land on your page. Your channel trailer is your short window to convince someone to stick around. About 60 seconds, that's all you get. In the first 5 seconds, say who is the channel for. Not your name, not your logo, just who should care. And the next 10 seconds, explain what people will get from your videos. Then spend the rest showing proof. Quick clips from your strongest videos, a few standout memories, anything that shows your content actually delivers. Then finish with a simple call to subscribe. Keep it under a minute. Even closer to 45 seconds is better. After that, people start dropping off. And here's something most creators completely miss. You can set different featured videos for subscribers and non-subscribers. New viewers need the trailer, but returning subscribers, they don't need an introduction. They need your latest upload or the start of a series. So set your trailer for non-subscribers and give subscribers something fresh instead. It's a small change, but it makes your channel feel more organized, more intentional, and it tells every new visitor exactly why they should stay. Now that you know what settings have been holding your channel back, make sure to check out this video right here, which YouTube thinks you'll enjoy next.